And now our Hot Topic segment, where our team asked participants at this week's annual conference of Israel's International Institute for Counterterrorism how they would classify the recent spate of car rammings and stabbing attacks worldwide. Lone wolves, amateur terrorists, or something far more structured? Here's some responses.
Not so much. We are facing a new period in which the terror develops, and we met some new methods of terror. We used to call it lone wolf or local organizations. This is not amateur terrorism. This is terror is terror is terror. I call it personal terrorism, not amateur, because we lose people. We lose people in Israel. We lose people in Europe. The system, okay, they don't have the entire organization behind them, but they have the ideas of the organization. This is a personal terrorism, not amateur. Not amateur. Ideology. This is the bottom line is ideology, is influenced from this ideology, and it can commit every attack from this point of view.
Our biggest threat now is the people who are inspired but not instructed, the ones that go out and act them themselves. When you're in part of a network, there are multiple opportunities for the intelligence community, for the good guys, as it were, to be able to thwart it, pick up a clue, figure out what's going on during the planning stage. When someone is doing this all by themselves, nobody else knows, it is much more difficult to pick up on what they're doing. But the reality is, if people who were out in the public who know them were willing to come forward in the beginning or in before, after any of these attacks, you keep hearing the same comment. Oh, well, he was doing this strange. I smelled this. I heard this. I saw this on Facebook. I saw this posting, and they didn't do anything because they didn't think anything of it. Don't be afraid to call in. Just, you know, if it turns out to be nothing, that's fine. But you really need to not want to be sitting there going, I wish I had called.
Well, the thing is the terrorist attacks in Europe, especially in the United Kingdom where I belong, recently the rise of terrorists, the techniques, they have changed the techniques, which before they were using a suicide bombing and ammunition, but now they changed into the car or vehicle ramming attack, which was a new technique in Europe for the security services. But I would just mention that was not a new for Israel. Israel is confronting that type of terrorism for decades. I cannot say it's organized because most of the people are the lone wolf. They can see what's happening in Israel, and they see every day, daily life, they have stabbing, they have ramming, and so they thought that technique, they are very intelligent to assess the terrorist techniques all around the world, because they have terror cells in Europe and every countries, every continent of in the world. Yeah, there's two types of terrorist incidents happening in the West. One is supported by the ISIS. One is a lone wolf. They have guided through the social media, but they have no very connected direct link with ISIS. But if anything happens, ISIS take responsibility because they hijack the techniques, they get the techniques, the terrorists, from the ISIS videos and all the things.
We'll take one last break and be right back with a commemorative look at 9/11 ceremonies across the U.S. and around the world. Stay